There's a misnomer that when you don't follow a movement of a certain person, that you harm that person. But in actuality, if that movement is just, you're hurting the entire community. And so I'm going to say that I've said more than once that I'm not trying to dominate or control the liberation process of Mr. Cardell Hayes whatsoever. But I see no one at the epicenter of where his adjudication was processed complaining about his mistreatment solely because he was African American. Not to mention the NFL's involvement and all of the breaks from procedure, abnormalities involving his trial, and things that I saw that were very alarming. So I said all that to say I'm going to the courthouse when it's open on Fridays from 9 to 11 a.m. starting tomorrow to scream out against the second-class citizenry that blacks are mandated to. In New Orleans, we want full equity. And just so happens, Mr. Cardell Hayes is a key figure in that fight, because all Cardell Hayes wanted was his constitutional right to bear arms and stand his ground. And I won't discuss the specifics of the case and all this, but we know that the first shot Mr. Hayes heard was Will Smith shooting his wife on accident, and that's why he responded with gunfire in a stand your ground state. Had not been drinking, no inebriation. Will Smith was twice the limit, had a history of violence with his own wife, and we saw in the video he hit and ran Cardell's vehicle first. So I am Cardell Hayes. But so is your son and your husband and your uncle and your father and your cousin and your partner. And until we all collectively decide that we will stop watching movements get quelled by chopping the head off of them and start to stand with sound premises that we cannot deny versus who we like and don't like. I'm not going to start any mess today, but I deal with 2 or 3 that I can think of off top, and I deal with a lot of organizations. But I deal with 3 organizations regarding one issue for each of those organizations that I don't even really deal with their mission statement. But in the name of cohesion, as long as I'm not forced to address their mission statement regarding this issue way over here, I stand there with them for that issue way over there. And so even if you didn't catch that or caught that and just aren't open, Cardell and the other black males that are political prisoners and strong-armed into the penitentiary system by a community that over-polices them, profiles them, and a system that sets them up for that over-policing and profiling by giving inadequate infrastructure regarding schooling and adequate housing and jobs. So if you don't like me or Father's Advocacy or Dr. K movement or any of the other organizations you've seen come to join. And again, I'd like to stress that that don't mean they condone 100% of everything I do. That meant that on that day, they recognized the need to stand and confront our oppressor. He walks in there every day, human, on two legs, put some kind of pressure, some on his mind, rather than just let it go status quo and not respond. So with that in mind, the latest I'm going to stay on Fridays ever is 12 because DD gets out early dismissal. And so if you want to go on Friday, you could go from 12 to 4. It's still open. But there's also Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And so I realized that that's a scapegoat saying, oh, well, I'm not going to go out there because I don't like Byron. It's a scapegoat. And up until now, that's worked. And it's been able to justify why one was unwilling to go forward with another movement, right? But now the stakes are so high that that's no longer acceptable. It's no longer acceptable. I'm going to give you an example because I don't want ambiguity regarding this topic. No, I'm not going to give an example. Nah, what I said was clear. I meant it. That's the code I'm going to rock by. Either, you can respect it or check it. You are who you rock with. Roll or get rolled over. Upset the setup.